Dollar cost averaging, or DCA. Why do you need it? What is dollar cost averaging? And how to use dollar cost averaging in investing. Investing in the stock market comes with very strong emotions for a lot of people. If you suffer from FOJI, the fear of joining in, your main concern is that if you buy stocks and they go down in value, you'll be unhappy you bought them. This might lead you to postpone the transaction or not invest ever. If you suffer from FOMO, the fear of missing out, your main concern is that if you don't buy a stock and it goes up, you regret not buying them. This might create too much urgency to buy right now, jumping in recklessly and taking the risk of blowing up. In both cases, dollar cost averaging might be a way to deal with your emotions. You don't have to buy 100 shares in one go. You don't have to spend the $10,000 in just one lump sum transaction. Dollar cost averaging is buying into a position in multiple steps in a disciplined way, avoiding the temptation to time the market. Dollar cost averaging can take away some of the emotions of investing in the stock market. You can apply dollar cost averaging to shares, index funds, mutual funds, currencies, and a broad range of other securities. Here's an example of how to use dollar cost averaging in 2 steps in buying shares. How about we buy just 50 shares rather than 100 at $100 per share for a total transaction amount of $5,000. Then somewhere in the future, we spend another $5,000 for the second step of the transaction. What we don't know right now is how many shares that $5,000 is going to get us at that future date. But we do commit to buying additional shares at a preset date, for example 1 month from now or 1 year from now. And if you feel more comfortable splitting the buy into 5, 10, 12 or 20 steps rather than just 2, be my guest. Here are 2 of the many possible scenarios of how dollar cost averaging could work out in this case. Remember that nobody knows for sure what the share price will be in the future. Buy 50 shares at $100 per share today for a total of $5,000. Then in the second purchase, when it turns out the share price has increased to $125 per share, buy 40 shares for a total of $5,000. You now hold 90 shares, which you bought at a dollar cost average of $111 per share for a total of $10,000. Second scenario, buy 50 shares at $100 per share today for a total of $5,000. Then in the second purchase, when it turns out the share price has decreased to $50 per share, buy 100 shares for a total of $5,000. You now hold 150 shares at a dollar cost average of $67 per share for a total of $10,000. One of the benefits of this version of DCA is that it causes the investor to buy more shares when prices are low and fewer when they are high. Where's the catch in DCA? Are there any downsides to dollar cost averaging? There could be. Beware of transaction costs. These could be higher if you split your purchase over multiple buys rather than invest one lump sum. Don't let the transaction cost monster eat up your investment returns. What you need to add to your to-do list is to check the transaction fees with your broker. These might include a fixed component per transaction as well as a variable component related to the size of the order. Version 2 of dollar cost averaging focuses on buying the same number of shares each time rather than spending the same total amount. Buy 50 shares today at a known price, buy another 50 shares in the future at the as yet to be determined price. Here are 2 scenarios of how that could work. Buy 50 shares at $100 per share today for a total of $5,000. Then in the second purchase, when it turns out the share price is increased to $125 per share, buy another 50 shares for a total of $6,250. You now hold 100 shares, which you bought at the dollar cost average of $112.50 per share, for a total of $11,250. The amount spent in the second purchase is bigger than in the first one. Second scenario, buy 50 shares at $100 per share today for a total of $5,000. Then in the second purchase, when it turns out the share price has decreased to $50 per share, buy another 50 shares for a total of $2,500. You now hold 100 shares at a dollar cost average of $75 per share, for a total of $7,500. The amount spent in the second purchase is smaller than in the first one. Here's how not to use dollar cost averaging. Let's say you bought 100 shares at $300 per share, which is $30,000 worth of shares at the peak of the hype. At the current share price of $100 per share, you're looking at a percentage loss of 67%. Some people would now DCA it. Yes, to DCA can be a verb to soften the percentage loss, regardless of whether or not the share is worth buying in the first place in the new economic environment. You bought 100 shares at $300 per share initially. Now you buy 100 shares at $100 per share, which makes your total position 200 shares at $200 DCA for $40,000 in total. If you compare the DCA of $200 per share to the current share price of $100, your loss is just 50%. That still sounds bad, but not as bad as being down 67%. Well, guess what? This might not be the end of the trouble for the company. If the share price continues to drop all the way down to $25 per share, you misused dollar cost averaging by throwing good money after bad. If you compare the DCA of $200 per share to the current share price of $25, your loss is 88%. What is reverse dollar cost averaging? The opposite of regular dollar cost averaging. In reverse dollar cost averaging, you are selling out of a position in multiple steps in a disciplined way, avoiding the temptation to time the market when exiting a position.